So I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go back to Cleveland since they have a younger player in Kyrie Irving, and I could win me a championship. And then for LeBron to say earlier in the season when Cleveland was struggling that since y'all can't get it together, I'm just gonna leave at the end of the year and go to another team that could win a championship. Now that Cleveland's winning and they're doing good, now that LeBron's talking about, my heart's always been in Cleveland. I never want to leave Cleveland. But no, at the end of the day, LeBron, he is what he is, and he's just a guy, chasing championships. And he wants to go where it gives him the best place chance to win, instead of him, just trying to help build a team and stay there and sacrifice whether you win or not. I think that's the difference between today's generation. Because I don't want to just single out LeBron, because there's a lot of players that play in the NBA today that do the same thing. I mean, look at Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire just left the New York Knicks to play for the Dallas Mavericks, so he feels like Dallas gives him the best chance to win. Instead of him staying in New York to help try to rebuild that franchise, he'd rather just move along and go to Dallas because Dallas has a better team right now.
I ain't heard no noise from him.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is this current generation of players, are they doing the right thing by, taking advantage of free agency and going to a place where I could win the championship quicker than staying loyal to one team, and instead of, like you talked about Gary Payton or even Karl Malone and John Stockton. Karl Malone, John Stockton stayed in Utah for 18 years and never won a championship. But even though they never won a championship, they did get close a couple of times, but they were loyal to Utah, and they stayed with Utah until the very end. Same thing with Reggie Miller and the Indiana Pacers. And so that's my thing, is that, the players from the 80s, 90s, and maybe even the 2000s, they seem to be more loyal to their team. Because, I mean, look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's been loyal to the Lakers, forever. 19 years with one team. And so you can't say that with this current generation of players, because these current generation of players, once they become free agents, they're so quick to leave and go to a place where they feel like they can win right away, instead of just, being patient and trying to build something with the team that they have. And I think that's Pat Riley's point.
Shout out to Pat Riley.
Yeah, Hall of Fame coach. Won 5 championships as a coach of the Lakers in the 80s, and then won 1 championship with the coach as a coach of the Miami Heat in 2006. Now he's won 2 championships as a general manager in 12 and 13. Now, DXJ, and maybe you agree or disagree about him, but he says that he doesn't understand why everybody blames LeBron. He played out his contract in Cleveland and Miami and chose to leave and not re-sign with his prospective team. Players today have more leverage in the NBA than they ever had before. In the past, players are traded at the owner's will. Dr. J was traded to pay the Jersey Nets bills and destroy that franchise, while Kareem played at UCLA and wanted to go back to LA, and he got traded from Milwaukee to LA. So you agree with that, players today have more leverage than players in the past to just go wherever the hell they want?
I guess so. I think so, because, it seemed like I had to really study to figure out, how long they contracts and different things, situations there. I mean, my man named Charles Barkley got, he ran his contract. He played for the city of 76 as first. Then he moved.
But that's the thing though. And my point though is that players today, they just leave once their contract is up. They just leave. Players back then, I never really heard of a player just leaving. I just know back then they stayed with that one team until they got traded. Like Charles Barkley, he stayed with the Sixers until they traded him to Phoenix, and then he stayed with Phoenix until they traded him to Houston, and he just retired. Said to Allen Iverson, he stayed with Philadelphia until Philadelphia just traded him to Denver. I never heard of anybody just leaving. The only player I ever heard of just leaving was Shaq. And Shaq, the only reason why he left was because the Lakers offered him so much money that he could not refuse it, and Orlando refused to pay him that much money. So he kind of like what happened with DeMarco Murray. So Shaq just went where the money was at and went to the Lakers, left Orlando. But outside of Shaq, I never really heard of a player up until the last 5 years or so just leaving for the sake of leaving just because their contract is up. So I mean, in that sense, so I don't know if they have more leverage now, or it could just be today's players. They're just more quick to just go. Maybe take the easy way out instead of the players of the past just staying loyal. Maybe it's a loyalty thing. I don't know. Or maybe this guy's right. Maybe they do have more leverage to leave. But like I said, I never really heard of a player just one asking to leave. I also want to give a quick shout out, man, to Kenzagami. I hope I said that right. He's on Twitter, but he shouted us out on Twitter. So I'll just return the love back to you. I'll just call you Cam because I can't pronounce your name. So I'll just call you Cam, but shout out to Cam. And got some breaking news about him.
Okay.
And that is the Miami Dolphins that just traded I'm surprised, man. They traded their best wide receiver, Mike Wallace, to the Minnesota Vikings for a 5th-round draft pick and the 7th-round draft pick. So Miami making some moves. So to me, man, it's a big trade for Minnesota. I don't understand what Miami's doing here, though. Yeah, man, it's a really, really interesting trade. Like I said, if I'm Minnesota right now, I'm happy because you get a big-time wide receiver, and that could really help out the quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, especially if they can talk, well, not really talk, but if they can get Adrian Peterson on board whenever he gets reinstated, maybe Minnesota can make some moves next year. And sticking with the NBA, and speaking of old school players, how about Kevin Garnett? So Oklahoma City Thunder center Steven Adams, he was in the interview that asked him, who do you think is one of the best trash talkers in the NBA? Well, they asked him who is the best trash talker in the NBA. So he said the best trash talker in the NBA is the Minnesota Timberwolves power forward Kevin Garnett, saying that Kevin Garnett's trash talk is so good about it, he makes you question life. He makes you question why you even living.
What makes you think that? I mean, he's been in the game for 20 years, man. You can't really just challenge nobody like Kevin Garnett, man.
Yeah, but I never heard of anybody just trash talking. Their trash talk is so good that they make you question why you even living.
Well, that's a new millennium baby talking like that. I ain't gonna say millennium baby. Yeah, that's talk about. You understand what I'm saying? That's somebody from another.
He must be a young guy.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett, when he come from a time era, you play or die. You got to win or die. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Kevin Garnett's one of the few remaining players that actually played in the 90s.
Yeah, you're old head. They don't play like that no more. Man, shout out to Kevin Garnett for being one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Shout out to him. I would have thought, hey, y'all talking about trash talk? Yeah, I know Charles.
Yeah, Yeah, Steven Adams. Well, Steven Adams, he's a younger player. He's only been in the NBA now for 2 years. He got drafted in 2013, and he was born in 1993, so he's a young cat.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know about Charles Barkley's trash talk, but he says that when they play Minnesota, he says that Kevin Garnett has the best trash talk because Kevin Garnett makes him question why he's even living.
Yeah, why he even living?
Yeah, so
Reason why he's living because Kevin Garnett brought you in this world. That's why.
But Kevin Garnett just be getting in his head.
Yeah.
I never heard anybody just get in your head like that. Like just even make you question, like, damn, like, why am I here?
But the fun thing about it, if you had to answer your own questions on that, you know, you ain't playing, you ain't practicing that hard. You practicing hard, you ain't had time to think about that question.
Well, I just like to know what is it that Kevin Garnett even saying to him to make you even to get in his head like that. Even though right now Oklahoma City's beating Minnesota 26-18, they're still in the first quarter. This is what Steven Adams had to say about Kevin Garnett getting in his head. He says that Kevin Garnett, he makes you question, like, why am I even playing basketball? You're like, why am I doing this? It's really weird. Kevin Garnett, he makes you get depressed.
Nah, to me, I think he make you want to renew your enthusiasm. You know, the game ain't like it used to be.
Yeah, but him and Kevin Garnett are not teammates, though. He plays for Oklahoma. So when he plays Minnesota and Kevin Garnett's trash talking to him on the court, he says that Kevin Garnett, his trash talk is so hard that Kevin Garnett really makes his man think, like, why am I even playing basketball? He says Kevin Garnett makes him depressed when he's, like, trash talking to him on the court. Especially for him, since he's he's only 21 years old. He was born in '93, so he probably grew up idolizing Kevin Garnett. So to play against him and this man's just demoralizing your character, that probably does make you depressed. But I thought that was interesting. And also, man, so we're gonna talk. So now moving back to football, and that is DeMarco Murray. With DeMarco Murray, as we talked about yesterday, DeMarco Murray he signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. So DeMarco Murray is now a Philadelphia Eagle now, and with DeMarco Murray leaving to go to the Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys found his replacement by signing former Oakland Raiders running back Darren McFadden. And for me personally, Bowden, I really hate this move for the Dallas Cowboys. As Darren McFadden, he can't stay healthy. He's hurt all the time. He's only played, I think he only plays like 9 games a year, and I think that his career high is only like 13 games for a season. He's hurt all the time. Well, that's why the Oakland Raiders got rid of him, because he's always hurt. So to me, I really hate this move for the Dallas Cowboys. Even though people in Dallas were wilding, as people in Dallas were burning DeMarcus Murray jerseys in the streets of Dallas last night. You know what I'm saying? People in Dallas are acting like people in Cleveland when LeBron left. They just burned DeMarcus Murray jerseys out in the streets. And a lot of Cowboy fans feel like as Cowboy fans, man, they're just hating on DeMarcus Murray now. For leaving and going to the rival Philadelphia Eagles. And the Dallas Cowboys about, and they came out and said they thought DeMarco Murray was bluffing.